what we're seeing is that there was oversight. They're trying to figure out how to make sure that these Tea Party, Tea Patriot, these various new groups don't abuse IRS regulations in terms of claiming that they are nonprofits and tax exempt. And they then, I think, took a shortcut, is what we know for the record, that they made bad decisions and said we're going to flag anything that's called Tea Party and Patriot and et cetera. This whole idea that we're now to Watergate and burning tapes, I mean, that's quite a leap for me.
Juan Williams, welcome to Give Me Five. How is that quite a leap? You got the key players at the IRS all losing their emails and throwing away hard drives. And that's a leap? I don't see how that's a leap, and neither does George Will.
It's a leap when 6, not only Lois Lerner's hard drive crashes, 10 days after they get the letter from Dave Camp, the chairman of the appropriate committee, but 6 others do, including those of the person who was the chief of staff to the IRS commissioner who was fired. And you know what the response to this is? Charles talks about the incompetence demonstrated here, and that's the default explanation of what government does a lot of the time. But the beauty of this, it's an almost elegant thing. Commissioner Koskinen has said, as the perfect bureaucrat would, that all of this is evidence that the IRS needs a bigger appropriation so it can get better computers.
It's absolutely true. The Democrats are saying, no, the budget's been slashed. How do you expect the IRS to do their job? How could they be expected to keep their emails and follow the law? They don't have enough money, the IRS. And here's Krauthammer.
Well, that's what Nancy Pelosi said. Her answer to a corruption scandal, a missing evidence scandal, is we need better technology, more money. That's the default answer of a liberal to every issue involving government.
Yeah, just about. He's absolutely right. I mean, obviously, Juan Williams is outnumbered, but I've seen the polls, and Juan Williams is in the minority when it comes to public opinion on this as well. Here's more.
This requires an extremely improbable degree of coincidence. 6 computers, hers goes down, nobody can locate it, there's no reporting of it, and all of us know from our own experience that emails never die. All of a sudden, these have died precisely. You say there were tons of emails that were released. Yes, but these are the ones precisely that would connect the IRS with other agencies.
You don't know that, Charles.
No, but that's how they were tagged. That's how.
No, Charles.
These are the ones that they are looking for, the ones that went outside the IRS. And that's exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, he's right. Juan, no, don't say no, Charles. Yes, Charles. It's absolutely correct. Now here, Juan Williams weighs in a little bit more.
You talk about the IRS in a boneheaded way, sort of not getting right the investigation of whether the groups went over the line about the 501c4. No, this is a deliberate attempt by the administration to sideline these politically conservative groups in the days.
You don't have, as the president said, you don't have an iota of proof.
All right, but wait a second. What about any agency
hold hearings, nothing.
Any agency,
the IRS, the IG has said yes, it was politically motivated, but no outside influence and no evidence of corruption.
No evidence of corruption. Maybe because the evidence was thrown away. Come on, Juan, be intellectually honest here. How can anybody who doesn't have an axe to grind say that there's, quote, there's not one iota of impropriety, which is what the president said, until we see those emails that are gone? One more.
So when the National Archivist says any agency is required to notify us when they realize they have a problem, when they realize that they've lost emails,
I just don't
that it's
think
against the federal records.
That's not what we're here talking about. We're talking about if the IRS was being used to punish political
There would
opponents.
have been no evidence of Richard Nixon's involvement in obstruction of justice if his tapes had suffered the same fate that Lois Lerner's hard drive has suffered.
Yeah, very good question, George. And why aren't we talking about what the archivist said? The archivist wouldn't say the words, the IRS broke the law, but he did say they did not follow the law. Here we go again, parsing the language, Clinton speak. But I could draw from what he said, if you're not following the law in doing something, then you broke it. That's my interpretation. Interesting discussion. Steve Malzberg Show.